The story opens deep inside a dense forest, where everything looks isolated and untouched. Two couples, Rick and Haley, are busy mountain climbing. Rick reaches the top first and confidently tells Haley that she can never beat him. As Rick looks around, all he can see is endless forest in every direction. No signs of civilization at all. He calls out to Haley, asking her to hurry up and join him, because the view from the top looks amazing. Saying this, Rick starts moving ahead. Meanwhile, Haley is still climbing on her own. Suddenly, her foot slips and she almost falls, but somehow she manages to hold herself. Shaken, she starts calling Rick for help, but there's no response. At the same moment, something unexpected happens. Rick suddenly falls near the edge of the cliff. As Haley looks up toward him, drops of blood begin falling onto her face. Confused and terrified, she tries to understand what's happening. But before she can react, someone grabs Rick and throws him down. Haley is completely frozen in fear. Panicking, she quickly tries to climb down using the rope, but suddenly, someone from above starts pulling her up with that same rope. Terrified for her life, Haley cuts the rope herself and falls straight down near Rick's dead body. Seeing Rick lifeless, she breaks down crying, but she doesn't even get time to process this trauma. From above, she notices something moving fast through the bushes, coming straight toward her. Without wasting a second, Haley runs toward her car to escape, but while running, her foot gets stuck in a barbed wire trap, causing her to fall hard on the ground. And before she can even get up, someone drags her away. Right after this, we learn something disturbing. In this area of West Virginia, many people have gone missing. Locals believe that strange, deformed people live in these woods. People who hunt humans and eat them. Anyone who enters this forest never comes back alive. Now the scene shifts. We see a man named Chris driving on a highway. He's on his way to an important interview. But after some distance, he gets stuck in a massive traffic jam. Not knowing what's going on, Chris steps out of his car and walks up to a truck driver to ask about the situation. The driver tells him that about 3 miles ahead, a chemical truck has overturned, and dangerous chemicals have spilled all over the road. Because of this, the road will remain blocked for hours. Hearing this, Chris gets frustrated. Waiting here would mean missing his interview, so instead of waiting, he decides to take a different route. While driving, he tries calling the company to explain his situation, but since it's a mountainous area, his phone loses signal. After driving for a while, he notices a sign for a gas station. Hoping to find help, he turns his car in that direction. On the way, he sees several abandoned cars standing on the roadside. It feels strange, but he ignores it and continues. Soon, he reaches the gas station. There, he sees an old man who looks extremely rough and unsettling. Chris asks him about a phone, and the old man silently points toward it. Chris quickly goes to make a call, but realizes the phone is dead. Now, even more stressed, he looks around and notices a map hanging nearby. On the map, he finds a dirt road that connects back to the highway. Seeing a shortcut, Chris decides to take that route. He gets back in his car and starts driving through the rough road. After some time, he reaches a point where the road splits into 2 directions. Confused, he thinks for a moment, and then chooses the path that goes through the forest, believing it to be a shortcut. But this decision is about to become the biggest mistake of his life. As he drives deeper into the forest, he suddenly spots a dead deer lying on the road. His attention shifts toward it for a second, and in that moment, he loses focus. And then, he crashes straight into another car. Luckily, Chris doesn't get seriously injured. The other car belongs to a group of students who were exploring the forest. Chris immediately apologizes and offers to pay for the damage. Then he asks them why their car was parked in the middle of the road. A girl named Jessie explains that someone had placed barbed wire across the road, which caused their tire to burst, and from the looks of it, this wasn't an accident. It was done intentionally. Now both cars are damaged, and they're all stuck in the middle of nowhere. Jessie suggests going back to the gas station to find help, but Chris tells them it's useless. The phone there doesn't work. With no other option, they decide to move forward together, hoping to find help ahead. Before leaving, they ask Evan and Francine to stay behind and guard the cars and their belongings. And then, the rest of them start moving deeper into the forest. As Chris and the group move deeper into the forest, the environment starts feeling more disturbing with every step. After walking for a while, they come across a dead raccoon lying on the ground, badly crushed, like something ran over it without mercy. They ignore it and keep moving. A little further ahead, they notice something even more unsettling: burning tires. Thick smoke rises into the air, and now it's clear this place isn't normal. Sensing danger, Chris tells everyone to stay alert and keep moving. Meanwhile, back at the cars, Evan and Francine are still waiting. Time keeps passing, but there's no sign of the others returning. Suddenly, Evan hears a strange noise coming from inside the forest. Curious and a bit concerned, he tells Francine to stay in the car while he goes to check it out. And just like that, he walks into the forest alone. Minutes pass. Then more time passes. But Evan doesn't return. Now worried, Francine decides to go after him. As she walks deeper into the forest, she suddenly spots something on the ground. Evan's shoe. Confused, she picks it up, trying to understand why he would leave it behind. But as she moves forward, what she sees next freezes her completely. On the ground lies a severed human ear. and from the earring attached to it, she realizes it's Evan's. Panic takes over her completely. She understands now something is horribly wrong here. But before she can even turn around and run, someone grabs her from behind, and in seconds, she is brutally killed. Now shifting back to Chris and the others. They keep moving forward and eventually reach the end of the road. There's no way ahead from here. With no other option left, they decide to enter the forest itself. After walking for some distance, they finally spot something. A house hits them instantly. They believe they've finally found help. As they get closer, they notice multiple abandoned cars parked around the house. It feels strange, but at this point, they have no choice. Chris knocks on the door, but there's no response. So they slowly enter the house on their own. Inside, the condition of the house is horrifying. It's filthy, messy, and looks like it hasn't been cleaned for months. The dining table is covered in dirt and rotten leftovers. They begin searching the house for any phone or radio. While looking around, they find a huge collection of car keys. Then Chris opens the refrigerator and instantly freezes. Inside, there are jars filled with human body parts. At the same time, Jesse enters the bathroom and screams in terror. Inside the bathtub lies a dead human body. Now everything becomes clear. This isn't just some abandoned house. It belongs to monsters. Realizing the danger, they immediately decide to leave. But just as they reach the door, they hear the sound of a vehicle approaching. Chris carefully looks outside through the window and sees a car coming toward the house. Now they're trapped. They can't leave from the front door. They try going through the back, but it's blocked. With no escape left, they quickly hide, under beds, behind cupboards, wherever they can. Moments later, the door opens. 3 men enter the house. But these are no ordinary men. Their faces are horribly deformed, terrifying to even look at. And then, they drag Francine's dead body inside and throw it right in front of them. Everyone hiding watches in absolute horror. The 3 cannibals place her body on the table and start cutting it. Then, they begin eating her flesh. The scene is beyond disturbing. Jessie almost screams, but Chris quickly covers her mouth, stopping her just in time. After finishing their meal, the cannibals eventually fall asleep. This becomes their only chance. Slowly, carefully, Chris and Jessie crawl out from under the bed. Carly and Scott also come out from hiding. All 4 of them silently move toward the exit. One by one, they manage to get outside. But just as Chris is about to step out, one of the cannibals wakes up and sees him. Now there's no hiding anymore. Chris immediately starts running, and the others follow him. They all rush toward the forest. But behind them, the cannibals get into their vehicle and start chasing them. The real nightmare has just begun. After running for a while, they reach a strange area filled with multiple abandoned cars. Seeing this, Chris quickly gets an idea. Maybe one of these cars still works. He rushes from one car to another, trying to start them. But every single one is dead. None of them work. Now panic starts building again. Before they can figure out their next move, the cannibals arrive there in their vehicle. Seeing them, the group quickly hides behind the cars. But the problem is, the cannibals already know they're there. Slowly, those 3 begin moving toward them. Now Chris knows they can't just keep hiding. So he comes up with a risky plan. He tells everyone that he'll distract them. Once the cannibals start chasing him, the others should steal their vehicle and escape. With no better option, they agree. Chris suddenly shouts loudly and runs in the opposite direction, grabbing the cannibals' attention. And it works. The cannibals immediately start chasing him. But just as Chris is running, one of them fires an arrow, straight into his leg. Chris falls hard to the ground, screaming in pain. Now the cannibals slowly walk toward him, ready to finish him. At that moment, Scott steps in. To save Chris, he runs in another direction, pulling their attention toward himself. Taking advantage of this, Jessie and Carly rush to Chris, lift him up, and drag him toward the cannibals' vehicle. All 3 of them quickly get inside and drive away. As they move forward, they spot Scott running in the distance. They stop the car and shout at him to hurry up. Scott starts running toward them with everything he has. But suddenly, an arrow pierces straight through his chest. He collapses instantly. Seeing their friend die right in front of them completely breaks them. But they don't have time to stop. Now the cannibals start shooting arrows at Chris as well. To save their lives, they speed away from there. After driving some distance, they find the road blocked by a huge fallen tree. Now the vehicle is useless. With no other option, they leave the car and continue on foot. Hours pass as they walk through the forest, exhausted, injured, and mentally broken. Finally, they stop to rest. But night is approaching, and staying on the ground means certain death. So they push themselves to keep moving in search of a safer place. That's when Natasha spots something, a wooden watchtower. Seeing this, they feel a bit of hope again. They quickly climb up the tower. From the top, they can see nothing but endless forest in every direction. While checking the tower, they find a first aid kit. Natasha treats Chris's injured leg. They also find a radio. Chris turns it on and tries to contact anyone outside. At first, no response. But then, a voice replies. For a moment, it feels like rescue is finally coming. But that small hope becomes their biggest mistake, because the sound from the radio reaches the cannibals below, and now they know exactly where they are. The cannibals reach the tower and start climbing up. In panic, Chris blocks the entrance from inside. For a few seconds, everything goes quiet. They think maybe the cannibals have left. But suddenly, smoke starts filling the tower. The cannibals have set it on fire. Now they're trapped. Stay and burn, or jump and risk death. Chris quickly makes a decision. He says they should jump onto a nearby tree and try to escape. Without wasting time, Chris jumps first. He barely manages to grab a branch and saves himself from falling. Then Jesse and Natasha follow. All three land on the tree. But below them, the cannibals are watching. One of them immediately starts climbing the tree. Now the danger is back again. The group carefully starts moving across the branches, but Natasha is the last one, and that costs her life. One of the cannibals reaches her and brutally kills her. Now it's just Chris and Jesse left. They keep moving forward, trying to stay ahead, but the cannibal is still chasing them. At that moment, Chris comes up with another quick plan. He grabs a flexible branch and pulls it back, waiting for the cannibal to get close. As soon as the cannibal reaches near, Chris releases it. The force throws the cannibal off the tree, sending him crashing to the ground. Seeing their injured partner, the other two cannibals below get furious. Meanwhile, Chris and Jesse manage to escape further. Eventually, they reach near a waterfall. Exhausted and broken, they decide to spend the night there. For now, they are safe. But only for now. Morning arrives, and Chris and Jesse waste no time. They start moving again, hoping to finally escape this nightmare. After walking for a while, they spot something ahead. A road. For the first time, they feel real hope. Maybe they've made it out. But that hope doesn't last long. Out of nowhere, one of the cannibals attacks Chris from behind. The force sends him rolling down a slope, completely separated from Jesse. Before Chris can recover, the cannibal grabs Jesse and drags her away. Chris, injured and desperate, somehow manages to get back up and reach the road. And then, he sees a police vehicle. Relief hits instantly. Chris runs toward it. The officer inside had actually picked up their radio signal from the night before and came to help. But before Chris can explain anything, an arrow flies in and pierces straight through the officer's eye. The officer dies instantly. Chris freezes in shock. Now he tries to escape using the police car, but the keys are with the dead officer, and the cannibal is getting closer. With no time left, Chris hides behind nearby bushes. The cannibal reaches the car, picks up the officer's body, and throws it inside. Then he starts the vehicle and drives away. But what he doesn't know is, Chris is hanging underneath the car, holding on tightly. The cannibal drives straight back to his house. Inside the house, Jesse is tied up, and now, they are preparing to cook her alive. The cannibal drags the officer's body inside and starts chopping it into pieces. At the same time, another one picks up a knife and moves toward Jesse. She's seconds away from death. But suddenly, fire starts at the front door. Chris has arrived. As one of the cannibals goes to check the fire, Chris crashes the car straight into the house at full speed, crushing him instantly. Without wasting a second, Chris attacks the second cannibal, injuring him badly. Then he rushes to free Jesse. But before he can fully untie her, the third cannibal appears from behind and throws Chris hard to the ground. He lifts an axe, ready to kill him. At the last second, Jesse gathers all her strength and shoots an arrow straight into the back of his head. The cannibal drops. Chris and Jesse try to escape. But it's not over yet. Another cannibal attacks again. Now both of them fight back together. This time, they don't hold back. Jesse grabs an axe and strikes him hard in the chest, dropping him to the ground. They try to leave. But even then, the cannibal grabs Jesse's leg. She kicks free just in time. And the one with the arrow in his head starts moving again. These creatures just won't die. Now Chris realizes they can't fight them forever. He checks the gun. Only one bullet left. So instead of aiming at them, he makes a smart move. He shoots at the gas tank of the vehicle outside, and in the next second, a massive explosion blasts through the house. Fire spreads everywhere. This time, there's no way the cannibals survive. Finally, Chris and Jesse escape. They take the cannibals' vehicle and drive away from that cursed forest. After some time, they reach the same gas station from before. Chris steps out, walks to the map, and tears it down. Because he knows, if anyone else follows that route, they'll face the same nightmare. And with that, the story ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want part 2, comment down below.